Frontiere is the channel that tells you about new scenarios, new jobs, and new skills. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell. Today we're going to talk about a profession that will become strategic in the coming years. But what we need to realize is that we are living in a world of data. Data that is downloaded from the Internet of Things, from sensors. These are data that are not only structured, but also unstructured in some way. Because information comes from audio files, music, text, and so on. And along with astonishing computing power, since a PC doubles its power every 18 months, with highly sophisticated machine learning algorithms and the ability to store data thanks to cloud computing, we have a world of data, a world of zettabyte. 1 zettabyte is equivalent to 1 trillion gigabytes, which means a 1 followed by 21 zeros. That's something practically unimaginable. Now, this data, which some say are the new oil or gold, can be thought of as vast mine. These data need to be extracted in the raw form, then refined and cleaned, because they must be described, explained, interpreted, and above all, communicated in the simplest way possible. In 2000, a science dedicated to studying data was born, data science. This science has evolved over time. So why are data so important? Because they are what fuel artificial intelligence. If it weren't for this vast amount of data, we wouldn't have artificial intelligence today, especially generative AI. They have created new professions which, however, are not the focus of this video. Instead, let's look at the profession that is more in line with what we're discussing, which isn't a new profession because it was born in 2008. The data scientist, the scientist of data, the data scientist has exactly this role and is not a figure coming to us from the future. However, this is a role that will definitely shape the future. And it's a role that requires fairly advanced knowledge, skills, and competencies, because mathematics and statistics alone are not enough. They must know programming languages, especially Python rather than R, because R is mainly a software for statistics, whereas with Python you can practically do everything. But then they also need to have an approach to machine learning, deep learning, and therefore to artificial intelligence. This is a role that is constantly evolving, and if you don't keep up with the changes, especially if you don't work with artificial intelligence, which today is capable of producing repetitive base code data, so to speak, the data scientist doesn't even need to write basic code anymore, because that's essentially the job of a programmer. Well, all this knowledge today allows us to perform sophisticated data analysis, but above all, to make predictions. This, so to speak, kind of puts astrologers out of business if we wanted to make a joke about it. And let's imagine that with quantum computing, the data scientists will also need to study algorithms that come precisely from this new dimension. Please, especially with such a complex profile, I really need to hear your thoughts and have a discussion with you.